I don't think the answer is yes.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going with it.
Because when it hits the fan in a fight, you've got to love that game. You've got to love it.
Let's tweak that question just a little bit. What you're asking is, do you think Anthony Joshua's had the fight knocked out of him? That's what you're asking.
Or was it ever really there? Because, again...
No, it was...
we've got to say,
wait a minute. Give him credit. 2017 against Vladimir Klitschko, that's still his most scintillating, thrilling performance where he showed heart, stamina,
I agree with all
those things to come back.
I agree with all of this, right, but there is a difference between taking an athlete, which is what he is, and turning it into a fighter, and taking a fighter and turning it into an athlete, which is what Tyson Fury is.
Yeah.
There's a difference between those two things.
Yeah, I agree. This is what I'm understanding of this whole conversation is. I think there's two parts to that question. One is has he had the fight knocked out of him, and the other one is does he still love boxing? Because I think that the similarities between the two questions. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
And I will give you two different answers on both of those questions.
I think the boxing one is yes, he does.
1,000,000%, and he will want to fight until he's 40 years of age. Has he had the fight knocked out of him? That's the million-dollar question. Look, because as it stands right now, everyone says yes because of his performances, right? And that's what he needs to rediscover, and this is what we're talking about: finding new trainers, psychological damage.
What have you stopped talking for?
And that's why we're watching a fight in front of Bilal Riley.
I know you are.
And then he's Raj. And it's a...
Oh, wow. Those are the words of Gareth Davies, Spencer Oliver. These guys discuss the possibility of Anthony Joshua having the fight knocked out of him. And basically, these guys are convinced, rather, that Anthony Joshua wasn't a fighter in the first place. He was just a very good athlete that became a fighter. And let me counterpunch. This just shows you, without a doubt, this just shows you how short people's memory is. It shows you the level of disrespect they have for any fighter that steps in the fucking ring. They base, and they're looking at the Andy Ruiz fight, I'm assuming. They're looking at the two back-to-back losses, I'm assuming. And they're coming up with this particular conclusion. And they're going far down this rabbit hole of a possibility that maybe Anthony Joshua, that was once one of the best heavyweights in the world, if not the best heavyweight in the world at one point. Now they're questioning, is he a fighter in the first place? Look, I'm like Stephen A. Smith. Oh, how disrespectful. That's exactly what that is. Disrespect to the fullest. I mean disrespect. Simply because I look at Anthony Joshua fighting, having the best resume, fighting the toughest opponents, fighting everybody that would get in the ring with him. The only two that didn't was, of course, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and they were busy fighting each other because they had a pact once upon a time to freeze them out. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that those guys talked more shit about Anthony Joshua to build their name up, and then they fought each other at the end of the day. Each time you thought it was going to go one way, they decided to go another way, and that's how it was, and that's how it stayed. Okay? But now you fought a guy, you question a guy for fighting the best, and then your conclusion is when he comes up short against the best, you question if he was a fighter anyway? I mean, what kind of shit is that? I don't think he was a fighter in the first place. Now we're questioning if he was a fighter in the first place, doing the things that he did to Vladimir Klitschko. Nobody said shit when Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko at age 39. Keep in mind, Vladimir Klitschko's birthday was in March. Okay? So he just had a birthday. So from From 39 when he fought Tyson Fury, which was late 15. Then 16 rolls around. Early 17, he fights AJ. He just turned 41. He was 40. So it was a year and a half later. Then everybody wants to treat that like he was old and decrepit and he was looking like Luis King Kong old-ass Ortiz in there. I mean, this is the type of stuff you're dealing with when you're dealing with guys that decide to turn their back on you or decide to just throw you under the bus and start really looking at certain things, you know, instead of praising the people that beat him. Alexander Usyk is probably the best cruiserweight ever. We won't know that yet, but I mean, he's done things in the cruiserweight division that, shit, may I dare say the only person that I've seen do anything similar is Evander Holyfield. And it's crazy because I know he's smaller, but like I told people, it will take Alexander Usyk ripping into somebody else's ass and boxing their face off for people to finally get it like, well, damn, Anthony Joshua wasn't all that bad. In fact, we owe him an apology. And I think that's what's going to happen. Okay? Usyk is going to have to show how great he is in order to get people off of AJ's neck, because AJ was the guy that could have swerved that opportunity. He could have went around the WBO. Actually, in 2021, the WBO, Paco Pacasel, right? He was willing to throw Joyce at Alexander Usyk just to avoid the confrontation between Anthony Joshua and Usyk. And Usyk was the WBO mandatory at that particular point in time as well. That's why they didn't really fancy negotiations with Joe Joyce, because they know this shit ain't fair, because everybody just wants to see some bullshit fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Not saying it was some bullshit fight, but it was in order to see a particular fight that everybody was willing to break all the rules. Okay, so Anthony Joshua still was able to do what he did. He didn't have to do that at all, like a lot of fighters I don't think would. As Tyson Fury, he ducked a lot of mandatories and things people told him to do. He didn't do them. He didn't want to do the fucking Wilder fight, really. I believe his promoters did, but I don't think he really did. You know, I think his promoters knew that he had to fight Wilder. They just bullshitted because they thought that huge fight between him and AJ was going to pop off. Okay? But Tyson Fury, I don't think he personally wanted to do it. But since they told him, hey, you got to fight Wilder again, I've already tapped that ass, I'll do it again because I'm not paying him shit. Okay? But it just tells you that Tyson Fury is not really able to do what Anthony Joshua has done. Okay? And it's just crazy how people throw this man under the bus. Oh, you're mentally unstable. Why? Because he got pissed off at the end of the fight because he thought that he won, that they gave it his best, the best of his ability, fighting one of the best fighters in the world. You might as well be talking about a current day Roy Jones Jr. +2, because Roy Jones went and beat the WBO champion, John the Quiet Man Ruiz, right? But then he came right back down. He didn't stay at heavyweight. This guy's staying at heavyweight. In fact, this is his 4th fight at heavyweight. So again, you're talking about a guy that's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and just because that best pound-for-pound fighter in the world beat a guy that was regarded as one of the best heavyweights in the world, now you call him no good. I find it utterly disrespectful, and in the amount of shit talk that people say, you know, that's why you get this type of jaded AJ. Bars. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of what we just heard from Talk Sports. Please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!